Warning. The following contains spoilers from the movie Interstellar. If you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this video. Or do. I'm not your mom. What is up, YouTube? I'm Quinn Avallon, and welcome to Debunked, the show where we take popular fiction and ruin it with science. This week we're doing Interstellar. Derek Mango asked, "Can you explain Interstellar?" Yeah, thought so. Well, you know what? Derek, I can explain Interstellar. I'm going to explain it so hard, it'll blow your mind. So, I guess the question of this week is Interstellar accurate? Well, that's kind of a big question. Interstellar had a lot of science in it, a lot of accuracies and inaccuracies. But I guess the first question to answer is, could you travel to another galaxy using a wormhole? Well, what is a wormhole? A wormhole is an effect in space-time that lets you travel long distances using a higher dimension. Now, there's no real observational evidence that wormholes exist. However, there is enough evidence mathematically not to dismiss them entirely. There are two different explanations on how wormholes can be generated and stabilized. One is the Schwarzschild metric, and the other is the Casimir effect. The Schwarzschild metric is a theory regarding gravitational fields around mass. It states that a non-rotating, non-charged eternal black hole could theoretically generate a wormhole. However, it would be non-traversable, meaning it would collapse before you could even try to pass through it. So, how could you sustain a Schwarzschild wormhole? Well, there is one way. You could use exotic matter, which is basically matter but with negative mass. However, it's entirely theoretical and there's no real evidence of it existing. So how else could a wormhole be generated? Well, the Casimir effect tells us that quantum field theory allows certain regions of space to have a negative energy density relative to ordinary regions of space. So what does that mean exactly? Well, it could have the same effect as exotic matter. It could stabilize the wormhole and make it traversable. However, scientists haven't found a way that it could occur naturally. Okay, so now on to the black hole. Could time really be slowed down like that? Well, according to Einstein's theory of general relativity, mass warps spacetime. That's why the force of gravity exists. What this effect also does, though, is slow down time. Even on Earth, time is slowed down by a factor of 0.99. But could a black hole really slow down time so much that years go by in a couple minutes? Well, a black hole is massive, meaning that there is a lot of gravity around it. If you get close enough to a black hole, you eventually hit the event horizon, which is the point where gravity is so strong that escape velocity is more than the speed of light. Interestingly enough, when you hit the event horizon, time stops, meaning that time dilation is so strong in terms of general relativity that time is slowed down by a factor of 0. So, at any point outside the event horizon, time can be slowed down to anything, meaning that any passage of time would be realistic. So, here's where shit gets weird. We've all seen the ending, where he goes inside the black hole, and time is diagonal, and everything is books. Okay, the ending didn't make a lot of sense. Or did it? It didn't. Well, it sort of did. But not really. Except, kinda. So, in the movie, humans of the future constructed a 5-dimensional zone in 4 dimensions. So I guess the first question to answer is the 5th dimension possible? Well, sort of. It depends what you mean. In our world, there are 3 spatial dimensions and 1 time dimension, meaning that you can travel forward, backwards, up, down, left, and right. It also means that you can travel forwards and, theoretically, backwards in time. Well, when Cooper went into the black hole, time was treated as a spatial dimension, meaning he could literally turn and walk forwards in time. So they said in the movie that they constructed the 5th dimensional world in 4 dimensions so he could comprehend it. But there clearly wasn't a 5th dimension. I mean, there was still time, there were still the 3 spatial dimensions. So, what is the 5th dimension? I mean, it didn't happen in the movie, but could it still happen? Well, yeah. I mean, a 5th dimension could easily exist. I mean, obviously it depends if it's a time or a space dimension, but easily a 4th spatial dimension could exist, like we see in wormholes. So a 5th dimension could exist, but could you construct it inside a black hole? Well, like I said before, nothing can escape past the event horizon, so we have no idea what could possibly be past there. So it is possible you could somehow, construct a whole area in there. It's said that it's possible black holes can hold entire universes. So, a whole different dimension could exist. So, is it possible? Yes. Probable? Not really. What about everything else? Well, that's a little easier. I mean, could you really manipulate the past from another dimension? So, in the movie, he figures out that love, along with gravity, is a force that could travel between dimensions, which is stupid, right? Yeah, pretty much. It's really fucking stupid, actually. I mean, he uses the power of love to literally move things in another dimension. I mean, even if love was somehow like a force that could be measured, how would you use it to literally move shit across time and space? It makes no fucking sense. I mean, I loved Interstellar, but this was the dumbest plot point in the history of movies. So, what's the official answer? Is Interstellar accurate? Well, that's complicated. I mean, they obviously did their research, and the math behind the time dilation is at least realistic. And at least the wormhole is realistic. I mean, you could say that scientists in the future found some way to make exotic matter, or use the Casimir effect to stabilize a wormhole. So, up to the last 20 minutes or so, the movie worked scientifically. I mean, obviously after that, all science was fucking abandoned, which I normally wouldn't have a problem with. I mean, it was still cool to see him go inside the black hole and go into the fifth dimension and do all that, but the whole thing about the power of love was too fucking stupid for me to still like the ending. Don't get me wrong, I still loved Interstellar. I mean, it was one of the first movies to really accurately portray scientific phenomena like wormholes, black holes, and time dilation, and I loved it for that. And I still say it's one of my favorite movies of all time, just when I say that I'm excluding the last 20 minutes. Thanks for watching. Do you hear that? I think Matthew McConaughey's trying to communicate with me behind this bookshelf. I gotta call NASA. They tried to put me in a mental ward. Thanks for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and please leave a comment of what you want us to do next, and we'll get right on it. See you guys.